What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, once again being joined by the one, the only
Gershwan!
And today we're back to answer more questions from you guys in another spine-tingling, teeth-chattering, eyeball-twitching episode of For the Greater.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put a question in front of your question because we get those questions first. I don't know why I felt like our WAAAGH was a little bit muted.
Yeah.
Like we didn't even try, or there's no...
Yeah, it's the death, sadness, and depression blocking us from everything that's going on in the world. No more chente.
Nope. The pile of shame just keeps getting bigger.
Yeah. Eventually, we too will get bigger, shamefully, and then depart.
So this question comes from Drewy Baker. If no one can speak of the two lost legions, why can't the Traitors speak of them? They don't give a rip what Big E thinks. Rip, yeah, that's not a saying that we say here. They don't give a rip.
They don't give a rat's acronym.
That's a really good question, and I don't really know why.
Yeah. The only thing I could come up with is that back in the day, before the 11th and the 2nd, which are the two lost and the forgotten Primarchs that were around, the Emperor, or maybe Malgador, one of the two, did something to the Primarchs to make them forget. We see this in a novel where Dorn is talking to Malgador about something like pylons or statues or something like that, and basically, Malgador says, yeah, we messed with your brain, with your thoughts, your memories to make you guys forget about the lost and the forgotten Primarchs. Or it could just be that when the Edict of Obliteration happened, they all psychically signed something to not be physically able to speak of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, this is just because I don't think GW's ever just going to come out and say why. Mm-hmm. But another plausible thing would be that they don't care. Yeah. They're dead. They're gone. So what's the point of even talking about something that existed for a little bit in their lives and now they're, nothing.
And the order that they were found in, some Primarchs never even met them.
That's true.
Yeah.
Because they didn't all get together until the Olenor Crusade when they defeated the Orcs, and that was at the end of the Great Crusade.
Right.
So the relationship that these Primarchs had with each other wasn't all that great. It was just kind of rumors and reports and stuff like that, and they were fine with that. They didn't really care because they didn't grow up with these brothers.
Right. There is some weirdness when it comes to the Ultramarines, because after Leman Russ went to go purge one of his brothers, the Ultramarines, they boosted their numbers up tremendously. Where did these people come from? So rumor has it that it's probably the Astartes from either the 2nd or the 11th Legion that got inducted into the Ultramarines.
Yep.
So again, that's kind of more where maybe brainwashing comes in, because how come they don't know about it? So. Or it could just be a plot hole. That, yeah. There's too much secrecy, too much unknown when it comes to the two lost Primarchs.
Good question, though.
Yeah. A lot to ponder.
Next question.
This one is by... that's not a question. But Gofaria Rebels has one. He says, "Sup, boys? How successful are Genestealer cultists over Chaos cultists when taking over planets?"
Way more successful because a Chaos cult is tricky in the sense that it's very apparent. Mm-hmm. Whereas with the Genestealers, they look like monsters, so they have to do everything that they can to hide it. Mm-hmm. Where it seems like Chaos cults are happy. It'd be look, I'm sick, I have COVID and stuff like that.
Yeah, look at my pentagram that I carved on my chest for no reason at all.
Yeah.
And not just that, but most Chaos cultists, they're going to die in some demonic ritual to summon demons or a warp gate or something. So it's yeah, they may be successful in doing that, but they're all dead.
Yeah.
Whereas with the Genestealer cults, they either get sucked back into the goop of the Tyranids, or they get sent off into another planet to invade.
Right. Next question comes from Boyan S. How numerous are the Tau? Can they invade and control a Hive world? They're not. They can't fight wars of attrition. It's very hard for them to do so. As far as planets, sept worlds, I don't think there is as many civilians as like maybe a Hive world, because like a Hive city by itself has trillions of lives or people. But they could still, like, the Tau can still take on a Hive world if they wanted to.
Yeah. This guy did a video about a week ago talking about how the Tau can take over the galaxy, and he does a very in-depth analysis. That's a word that I've wanted to use all day today. So you guys can see firsthand how the Tau can be able to take over planets and worlds and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Not just Imperium, but Xenos as well.
Yes. Next question.
This one's by T-Rex Shion. Wait, if orcs don't poop, then what did young Yarick cover himself with to sneak into the human prisoners?
They're called like orc pies, which is just like a bunch of different pieces of the orc put into like a food form. Probably just rub that on. Imagine like getting a Portillo's burger or an Italian beef from Portillo's, asking for it to be extra wet, and then just rubbing that all over you.
Not only will your Portillo's tasty meal be disintegrated all over you, you'll smell great, and you'll attract all the orcs.
All the orcs.
The opposite of what Yarick wants to do.
Yes. This next question comes from Tommy Falcon. When Space Marine chapters fight each other, do they ever try to capture the opposing side's gene seed for any reason? No, because they can't really do anything with it.
Yeah.
Other than just like beat dicks and like, no, but they wouldn't do that. There's honor even amongst those types of battles where it's like the Space Wolves versus anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Next question.
Oh, this one's by Don Krill. He says, "Answer this already. Why does the Blood Raven suck in every Dawn of War trailer? They should kick more ass as Space Marines."
Because the Blood Ravens aren't really a chapter. I think they were like created for
the game.
Yeah, and then now it's just kind of like
throw them in there.
Yeah. But yeah, that's about it. Also, I think it's supposed to show how dangerous each one of each one of the enemies that they're fighting is. Like the Eldar in that trailer were super fast, and then the Tyranids are supposed to be this huge danger.
Mm-hmm.
Orcs are supposed to be tough, but even the orcs get like beat by the Space Marines.
Yeah. If you're talking about the first original Dawn of War trailer that pits the orcs and the Blood Ravens together, yeah, I could see how you're talking about how they're not really doing anything. The Dreadnought gets blown up almost instantly. They've got like a last cannon turret that's missing every other shot. You got to remember that this is just a cinematic. It's not supposed to be for real, because the realness comes in when you start playing the game and you start making decisions that are probably worse than what you're seeing in the cinematic trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah. My Terminators are fighting against a Gretchen squad? Of course, yeah.
Yeah. Even though I do feel sometimes that when we play on the tabletop, it is very similar to the trailer in that, like you said, like an infantry squad against another infantry squad, like they could probably kill each other. Or like a squad of 30 boys against a Dreadnought. That Dreadnought could die.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Sort of.
And then you look at the trailer for Space Marine 2, and you've got just three Primaris Space Marines taking on... that is realistic.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I like about it. Because in the latest Space Marine... wait, that is it, right? Not the Astarte?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because it's a Hive Tyrant. So that's a big difference.
I thought it was just a warrior.
No, because warriors don't have 4 arms, do they?
Oh, that is true. I thought I saw him holding a gun.
Oh,
but no, I think you are right. He had the arms.
Because if that's the case, because if it was a warrior and 5 Hormagaunts, that sucks. It's like, those are Primaris Marines.
Yeah.
They should have taken that thing out.
Mm-hmm.
No problem. What I didn't like about the Space Marine 2 trailer, like this is after the fact, is like, what was the point of them killing those Tyranids? Like
just to save the guardsmen that were there.
Well, yeah, but they're not supposed to care about guard. They're Ultramarines.
But they do care, because in the first game they care, and for narrative reasons they care.
Because like at the end when they're just posing in front of like the spire, like is that really why? Like that's why you wanted to?
We wanted to see this view.
But yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a cool trailer. It got me hype. It was cool to see Captain Titus from the first game cross the Rubicon and be elevated to a Primaris.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was really cool. And he shot the Tyranid in the knee.
In the knee.
Tyranids have knees?
Yeah. What constitutes as a knee? Like, do only humans have knees? Do dogs have knees? Next question comes from Aneth Ardayalder. What kind of work do you two do in your day jobs? And what would that correspond to in a Space Marine chapter? Tech priest. I think I would just be like working with computers and whatnot. Well, machine spirits. And I think that's usually what I choose anyways. Like if I were to be a certain rank within the Space Marines, I always do.
The Tech Marine.
Yeah, Tech Marine.
You could be like a techie, like in Drama Club.
Yeah. Take out all the chairs.
Yeah. I don't think I'd be even in a Space Marine chapter because, like, I'm in sales and stuff. It's like, oh, you want to buy this, I don't know, footprint of a Space Marine to prove that they're real?
Within the, within like certain Ultramarine successor chapters, and I think even the Ultramarines themselves, don't they have certain battle brothers that lead the planets?
Yeah.
So there's like sales is kind of diplomatic.
It's kind of.
You could be a chapter master who's like, so we're gonna make trade with this agri world because whatever. You know, I've always thought that was kind of weird. That like those successor chapters do have like diplomatic positions.
Well, Ultramar in itself is kind of unique. So.
Yeah. You should have said you were a magician.
Oh.
Librarian.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, yeah, that was always my answer.
I'm secretly a magician.
Jazz hands.
Next question.
This one is by Savio Rebello. What does the lore say about reproductive process of the Eldar? As in, I'm aware that they don't have many kids because of Slaanesh stealing their souls once they're dead, etc. So under what situation do the Eldar have kids? And how long does it take, etc.?
So they don't have anything on that. It used to be that they just couldn't have any. Like it was super, super rare. And now they said that it's difficult for them to, but eventually they do.
Yeah.
And there's no real details because let's be real. Who cares? They're the Eldar. They're dying.
Yeah, they're a dying race that's been dying for years upon years.
Everybody's like, let's just talk about Space Marine penises. That's what
we're here for. But they don't have any. So they say.
But if you check out our 40 facts and lore on the lifespan of each race, I talk about it, and I talk about reproduction a little bit. I don't remember what I said though. Next question.
This one is by J Day. How to train your Dreadnought. So there is a lot of lore out there about how Space Marines find themselves entombed in Dreadnoughts, but what is their training process? Is it already uploaded into their minds while they're training to become Space Marines, or does a veteran Dreadnought show these newly entombed Marines how to pilot their awakened armored bodies?
I think it's more of like trial and error type of situation. And also like uploading certain, like they probably have like some type of neurochip or something that gets connected to the Space Marine, because you got to remember the Space Marine's already almost dead. Another interesting fact is, like, let's say you have a Space Marine who is about to die, and then he gets put into this Dreadnought. It's not a guarantee that he's gonna be
right.
Yeah, like okay, like it's a life support system. He might just die, and that neurochip might be the reason why. And like it messes with their brain so much that most Dreadnoughts are mad.
Yeah, they're crazy.
Stupid.
Yeah, especially those of the Blood Angels, because they could wake up and go directly into the Black Rage, and then you've got a person that's crazy but super, like, basically roided out in a freaking mech suit that they don't know how to operate. That's dangerous.
Yeah.
That's why they're all chained up, and they just plop them out into the battlefield.
And then they break through walls, which is completely unnecessary.
Yeah, could have gone around the wall.
Yeah.
No.
In the Dawn of War 2 trailer, that's what happens, and it's really funny because it's not even a wall, it's a stone.
Yeah.
So it's like, you could have just walked around the stone.
No, breakthrough. I'm a Kool-Aid man, this thing.
Yeah. Next question comes from Don Krill. What do I need to do to romance a Tau girl? You have to be woke, man. Like, it's the greater good. They already have, like, a society that respects their opinion. So they're in a position where they get respected, and they're just in a utopia, basically. So you need to, like, create that utopia yourself.
Right. Do not think yourself as lesser than them. You have to be on the same playing field. So try maybe cutting your forehead open, cutting your hair to fit the style of the ethereals, because, higher power, bring yourself, elevate, stay woke. And wear clogs, because they got hooves.
Yep.
You don't.
You could also remove your nose, but then put it back on.
And then remove it again.
Just so you can wear goggles.
Yeah. But what's holding up the goggles?
A little ridge.
There you go.
But it's worth it at the end, especially if you get an earth cast.
Mm-hmm.
They're nice. Now, this question comes from Matt. Are you going to do "and we are gay" instead of "and we are out" in the next outro? We could if you want us to.
Yeah. Whatever it is you just said.
Because I think at the end, we always sign off with "and we're out," I think. So now we have to say "and we're gay." Okay, we could do that.
Sure, why not?
Because we just did. Next question.
That is true. You got a point. This one is by Roots Newt. That's a new word for me. But he's basically answering the question we had last time about depression and if that falls under the domain of Nurgle. He says, yes, depression is 100% Nurgle's domain. Nurgle is submission. Decay is the body gradually submitting to nature, giving itself up to microbes and the crawling things. Depression is submitting to negative emotions and becoming numb and disassociated, essentially losing who you are and ceasing to live life completely. This is why Nurgle stuff is decay. It reflects the mind's sickened state while desperate and depressed. The innards hang out in disorderly coils, putrescent wounds in between festering boils, all because they no longer care. Their agonies are too much to bear.
The problem with that, because I vaguely remember what we talked about with, like, what God should be depression, is that I think that's taking, like, more of a fantasy or like a more romantic look at what depression is. And I think the argument that I was trying to make is that it's Tzeentch, because it's an illness of the mind, and it's not being able to cope with you're either thinking too much into the future or too much into the past. So it's that fear of change that's causing your depression. So there's no real physical thing. You could be like, let's say you lost a leg or something, and then that might make you depressed. The losing the leg obviously would be like, oh, that's very physical, but it's the mental thing that's happening up there. But I see what you're trying to do, like to mold it into like what do you say, like the decay or the of the mind,
right?
Yeah.
And there's always two faces of the same coin when it comes to chaos, because you could be 100% right, but then on the other side, look at the beasts of Nurgle. They're happy-go-lucky. They're out there. They want to hug you, kiss you, lick you, caress you, throw you on the floor, and just be the happiest thing ever. And that's exactly what they are. So it's like you have two, like I said, you could twist it any which way and it'll make sense.
Yeah.
Depending on the narrative.
And the depression would also feed probably multiple gods, just like honor or valor feeds both Slaanesh and Khorne. So there's that too.
Right.
You are. Yeah, you could feed both or multiple chaos gods. Next question. This one comes from the big one. I'm your biggest fan ever. So what are you guys going to get me for Christmas? I also accepted gifts for Kwanzaa.
Are you okay with recalentado?
Which is just, what is that, leftovers?
Yeah, leftovers, reheated is direct translation.
Because we're going to cook for you.
We're going to cook for us first. And then
you get the leftovers.
Right.
I recently had tacos de tripas from Taqueria Durango. So I might make that.
That's very Nurgle of you.
Yes, because they're pig intestines that are cleaned. But I mean, How clean can you make intestines? So I ate a little bit of shit yesterday.
And it gives it flavor.
It was fried. Fried shit.
There you go.
Last question. And we're gay.
Yeah. Angel Reyes. What's harder to join, the Tempestus Scions or the Legio Astartes? Basically, the AdMech or the Space Marines. Space Marines.
Yeah.
Yeah, because AdMech, you could just get lobotomized and become a servitor.
Yeah.
Space Marines, you got to be top physical condition. You also got to be prepubescent.
Prepubescent.
Basically, it's boys that become Space Marine men.
No, but he said scions, right?
Oh, yeah, Tempestus Scions.
I still think you're right, though. Space Marines go through psycho-indoctrination to a level where there is a librarian going into their mind and like showing them the worst possible things. With the Tempestus Scions, you just have a commissar saying, you're shit. You're shit. Like that could get you depressed, but it's not gonna make you go mad.
And that's when you say, dude, I ate tripas. I am what I eat. I'm shit. And then you become a Tempestus Scion.
Yes. My mouth is watering now.
You get a little beret too.
You do, yeah. Mm-hmm. Which, does that protect you from bullets? Of course not.
But you look cool.
Yeah. But yeah, those were the questions for today. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
And as always, we're
gay.
What's his name? Robert?
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Always used to put my freedom first.